Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. My name is Kathia, and today we are going to do a 2024 Notion tour. Can you see that? 2024 Notion tour. If you don't know what Notion is, it's basically my second brain. Anything that I have in this crazy mumble jumble of my head.
This crazy mumble jumble.
See, I can't even say that. In this crazy mind of mine, all these ideas that go in my head, they just get dumped into my Notion, into a very simple, aesthetically pleasing notes and workspace for me. I've been using Notion for the past 2 years, and the way that it's looked like has been so different. Like last year, it was this huge orange theme, and then with my first Notion, it was very simple, and I was still trying to get an idea of how to use it, but the pages worked for me. It just wasn't as customized as I preferred. And today in this video, I'm gonna be showing you a tour of my Notion and how I personally like to use it. I love watching these videos. I get inspired by watching them, so I thought I'd share what mine looks like and how I personally use it. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is my dashboard. As you can tell, it's this blue, very calm kind of theme, maybe tropical because it has that palm tree, but it's very simple. And I like to keep things simple because it's already kind of chaotic in my head. And so the way that I like to see my dashboard, I look at it in 2 different sections. The first part being this top part where I highlight everything that I need to focus on. It's simple, it's clean, it has my goals, my priorities for the season of my life, and tasks I like to get done this month. And then below that are pages where I can dump all my ideas, projects, and anything I really want to track in a nice, organized way. This is what makes Notion chef's kiss. At the end of 2024, I'm not going to remember all the 1,200 goals that I have and all my intentions. I'm not going to remember all the books that I read last year and this year. And I have this page for my family history. I'm not going to remember all the details that my mom, my dad, or any of my family members have told me. But this is what Notion does. With all these ideas that you can have in your head, it is able to contain all the ideas so that you're not really having to force yourself to remember everything that you've been thinking of. It serves as a place for anyone who uses it to dump all their ideas and organize it in a very clean way, and it frees up the brain space in your head. Now let's get into all these pages and how I personally like to use them. Okay. In my 2024 goals, I already kind of covered this in my last video and Notion for Beginners video. You can grab the templates for it, but I just wanted to show that for my 2024 goals and what you'll be seeing in all these pages, it has the same similar theme to what it looks like in the dashboard. Again, I'm very simple. I don't like things complicated. I just record all my goals that I have in the beginning of the year into this page, and I can use it to reference at any point in time this year. All right, next I have my reviews and reset page. I go here to be able to see what I like to cover on the weekly, monthly, quarterly, mid-year, and annual basis. And so every single week, this is my routine of me getting prepped for the week. And then I have a different routine for my monthly reset, just preparing for my month. And then I just have a list of items of things that I want to get done every quarter and every mid-year and yearly basis. It just helps remind me of things I want to get done during certain periods of the year. Then we have my life bucket list. Okay, so I lied to you guys. Not every page looks the same.
You sit on a throne of lies.
I wanted to make my life bucket list a little bit dreamy, so you have all the clouds in the air. But this is the page where I dump all the ideas of things I want to do in my life. Here's the books I've read page. As you can see that I have this counter here on the top left. So anytime I finish a book, I can get the joy and the dopamine of selecting this plus button and seeing it go up. And then on the right side of the page, you see my goals for 2024. And then below that, you see this database of all the books that I've read within the past 2 years. I really started this database last year. As you can see, I have all the books that I've read. I'll check mark this box to indicate that I finished it. And whenever I open up a book and start reading it, I create a template. And this template here, I would write down the book title here, write down the author, and then add a picture of the cover, and then write a little bit of a short summary after I read the book. And then I'll write down information about why I was interested in it. And then as I'm reading the book, I'm writing down takeaways and things that I found insightful. I don't know why I did that. Most of the books that I read are nonfiction books. For some reason, I just can't get myself into fantasy books. As you can see, it's my goal to read at least 2 fiction books this year. I used to like fiction books. I'm gonna start getting on a tangent, but But yeah, so typically after I read certain books, I write down one actionable item that can make my life better from what the person has written in their book. And then I have the last question, who would I recommend this book to? Sometimes I answer that, sometimes I don't. I just kind of pulled this template from one of the YouTube videos that I was watching, and I thought like, oh, that'd be a good question. And then on the bottom left of this page, I have a section for 12 books for 2024. I have this section just to keep in mind of just choosing one book that I want to read for each month of this year. And then on the right side of the page, I have a list of my all-time favorite books that I recommend to people, and these are books that have personally changed my life. Then here we have my finance page. It's basically just a simple overview of my financial life and what it is that I'm working towards. So here you see my money values, just basically a list of things I enjoy spending my money on and what I don't think is worth it. I'm just trying to remind myself that I don't need to buy another sweater because I already have like $1 billion. And then on my right side, I have my 2024 financial goals. And then below that, I have a list of my bills and subscriptions and when they're due, and then my annual finance tracker. So at the end of every single month, I write down how much I was able to save or how much I lost that month. Now this is my travel page. Here I record all the trips that I take within a given year. So as you can see in my database here, I have all my 2023 trips. And with every trip, I pull up this travel template and I'll write down the trip details. So I'll write a summary about why I went. Was it for pleasure or was it for work? And then I'll write down any flights that I took. And then right here is the core information that I personally like to reference back to. So the places that I ate at, the things I did, the places I visited. And then under itinerary, I write down the stuff that I did within a given day. This is nice because if I'm thinking about a trip and want to reference a place that I've visited or want to share the name of the restaurant to a friend, whoever's visiting there, I can just go back to this template and then easily find the name of the place I visited. And then after my trip, I like to do a post-trip reflection. So I'll write down 3 of my huge highlights from that trip, any of my favorite foods, and then write down what I'd go here again for, or why I wouldn't go here again. I don't think I've had a trip where I haven't wanted to go back there again. So yeah. And then on the bottom left, I have trips to plan. So currently I'm trying to plan out my trip to California for when I move within the next month. And then on the right side, I have my travel wish list, which is empty right now. Then I have my Tagalog learning page. This is a place for me to just give me a general idea of the schedule I want to create for myself. And it also captures my why and my goals for Tagalog. Okay, here's my food and fitness page. I go on this every single week. And so as you can see here, on the top part is just some ideas for breakfast, lunches, and dinners in case I can't really think of any foods that I want to eat throughout the week. I like to meal plan because when I go to the grocery store, I hate trying to figure out what I want to eat that week, write that in there, and then I end up spending like over an hour at the grocery store. And it's just chaotic for me, and I like to keep things simple, and I like to plan out my week. And so below that, I have weekly plan options. This is very new to my Notion, but basically when you select it, you can see a meal plan that I'm trying to create for the week. It's very empty. I just kind of threw things in there, but I want to figure out a way to create a meal plan that's very efficient for me, where I'm not having to cook as much throughout the week and I'm able to use different ingredients from different recipes and be able to bring that into my next recipe. But below that, I have my recipe library. And this is one of my favorite parts of my Notion. Basically, I was someone who would go onto Instagram or TikTok and having to scroll through my collections or my previously liked posts and search for the one recipe that I'm wanting to make. And it would take me forever to find it. And then whenever I would cook it, I would keep having that post replay. And it was just kind of annoying. And so with Notion, I'm able to collect all the recipes that I find online and save it all in one place. And so instead of having to waste my time trying to find the post, I can just simply pull it up here on Notion and easily find it. And I have all these recipes categorized into the meal type, so I can have it for lunch or dinner. And then if I have a specific recipe that I want to have that week, I can simply check mark it. So say that I want to have the brown sugar glazed salmon, the California turkey club wrap, and then I can select this week's recipes and pull it up here. I love how simple and how efficient this is. And looking down below, you have a workout plan. I haven't set this up yet for the year. I've been kind of working out how I feel throughout the week, just making sure that I hit all the body parts and getting some cardio in. But I have this section if I really want to plan out what I want to do for my workouts that week. I have this part. Then I have my career page. As you can see, I've categorized it into personal, admin, moving, and notes. If you don't know, I'm a naval aviator, and so I find myself moving from different training commands and different squadrons. And I also have to maintain what's called an UPCHIT, so that's basically being medically ready to fly. And so I have one page for all the medical exams that I've taken. I also have a page of people to remember and career advice and lessons. I'm not gonna be showing that because that is a little bit personal, but I remember from college, I got really good advice saying that when you're in this profession, you're gonna run across a lot of people, and there's some qualities in them that you really like, and there's some qualities that you see that is not as efficient or not as helpful when you're working with other people. And he said, take notes of that because you are still trying to develop your leadership style and how you want to show up in your job. And so whenever I move to a different area and meet a lot of people, I see what works and what hasn't worked within that given culture, and I take notes of it. And I'm still pretty brand new to my job, so just having to just sit and watch and learn and having this to remember is just something that I personally do just to personally develop myself. And on the right side, I have my references page. Basically, I have all the important pages associated with being admin. And then below that are people. So people I've worked with, people I've studied with, just for my reference, because I tend to forget people's names. And I know it'd be cool years down the line when I'm trying to remember the people that I've worked with, and I can easily just pull up that page. On the bottom left, I have my moving notes and my packing list. And I moved around 3 times, and I don't know how, I just don't remember everything, but I'm starting to write down all the websites I personally need to set up my move, and then what I personally need to pack and what I find helpful for any moves, because I know I'll be moving again whenever I finish up with my tour in the next couple years. And on my YouTube page, basically this page helps me organize all my ideas for YouTube. And so on the top left, you see admin information. So my purpose and vision on why I started. If you're brand new here, this is really just my 4th video. I really just want to start my YouTube channel, Life Captured by Kat, to just capture my life. I've been really craving a way to capture my life, and I thought, why not capture it on video? And if you know me personally, you see that I like to take photos and take little snippets of my day, and I'll sometimes ask you, like, can you be my 1 second every day? And with a big transition coming in my life where I'm gonna be moving from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, I thought what better time to actually start filming and creating long form content of my transition. And then I have my 1-year plan. I know that with YouTube, because there is an audience to it, that there has to be some direction. And so part of my YouTube channel is me thinking about how I want to be able to film these videos. This YouTube channel is for me, but then also I recognize, hello, that you guys are watching this video. And hopefully with any of these YouTube videos that you see, you're able to gain something from it, whether that be a laugh, whether that be something informative, or I don't know, maybe some inspiration. And then on the right side, you see how I have one thing going forward. I like to keep things simple when I plan out things. So whenever I have a project, I ask, what is the one thing I can do to keep the ball rolling with this? And so I have that one thing going forward. And right now it's Film 2024 Notion Tour. And then on the right side, it's videos I want to post this month. So as you can see, 2024 Notion Tour. And then on the bottom left is just a database of all these videos that I want to create. And then I have my Etsy shop page. It literally has 2 things on it. I have an Etsy shop, but I personally haven't been using that for a couple months. I really am just wanting to share things freely. And yeah, I'll still sell some things on my Etsy shop. It's a lot of just digital templates. It doesn't really make that much money, but I just have it there as a little bit of an inspiration to building up a business maybe I want to have someday. And then on the bottom right here, I have my family history. And basically this is a long-term project. I don't know when exactly I want to be able to finish this, but I think it'd be really cool to have something to pass down to future generations. I don't really have any documents from any generations that came before me. And I think it'd be really cool to capture the lives of my family members. I think they've all done really cool stuff. And to be able to share that with my kids, my grandkids, and great-grandkids, I think that would be a cool tradition to just pass it down. Now back here, I have my 2024 monthly goals. Basically here, it captures all my goals and my reflections for that month. I go into detail with that in my other Notion video, so you can check that out. In my personal one, I have all these thoughts and journal entries and lessons for life. So anything huge in my life that I just want to be able to capture, those are the big lessons I've learned, and I'll just drop it down in that page. And then with my fire bag checklist, I had a moment where I was thinking about about having a fire in my house, and I'm like, shoot, what are the things that I need to grab? And so I have this fire bag checklist. I honestly can't imagine myself pulling out this Notion page and then running through my house looking for these things. But I have this page. May I never use it. And then here you have my ultimate packing checklist. I honestly don't use this. I kind of just pack as I go, so that's kind of irrelevant. I could probably delete it. And then I have my trackers. So any races that I've ran, I'm someone who likes to run, and so I run a couple races just for fun. And so I have a collection of all the races that I've ran within the past couple years. And then for moving, I just have a checklist of items of financial accounts that I need to go through and update the addresses on. So yeah, that is my 2024 Notion tour. Comment down below if you have your own Notion, and if you created your own video, I would love to go see it. Hopefully this video gives you some ideas about some pages that you'd like to create in your own Notion. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye guys.